The bathroom door swung open harder than Amara intended. Her phone was pressed against her ear, her manager's voice drilling instructions she was already too exhausted to follow. She stepped inside, still nodding to words she wasn't really hearing, and froze. A man stood at the sink, shirt unbuttoned to his sternum, blood on his knuckles. Water running over his hands, turning pink as it spiraled down the drain. He didn't flinch. Didn't look surprised. His eyes found hers in the mirror first, dark and calculating, before he slowly turned to face her fully. The phone slipped an inch in her grip. Her manager's voice became static. "I'm so sorry, I thought this was—" Amara started backing toward the door, but the words died in her throat when he moved. Not quickly. Not threateningly. He simply walked past her and with one smooth motion locked the door. The click echoed in the marble space like a gunshot. "Wait, I didn't see anything. I swear I just— You weren't supposed to see this." His voice was quiet, almost gentle, with an accent she couldn't quite place. Korean, maybe. But his English was perfect, deliberate. He leaned against the door, blocking her exit, and tilted his head slightly. "What's your name?" Amara's heart hammered against her ribs. She worked at the Meridian Grand Hotel, had for 3 years, and she knew every bathroom on every floor. This was the executive level. Private. Restricted. She'd only come up here because the guest elevator was broken, and she'd needed to use any restroom, fast, before her shift started in 4 minutes. "I asked you a question." He wasn't raising his voice. Somehow that made it worse. "Sarah," she lied, the first name that came to mind. His lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. Sarah. He knew. She could see it in the way he said the name, testing it on his tongue like a fake bill held up to light. Someone knocked on the door. 2 sharp raps. The man's expression didn't change, but something in the air shifted. He pressed one finger to his lips, his eyes locked on hers. Then he leaned close enough that she could smell his cologne, something expensive and woody, and whispered against her ear, "If you scream, you die. If you stay quiet, you live. Nod, if you understand." Amara's whole body had gone cold. She nodded. "Boss?" A voice came from outside. Male. Impatient. "We need to move." The man at the door called back without looking away from Amara. 2 minutes. Silence. Then footsteps retreating down the hall. He straightened, studying her face like he was memorizing it. "You're terrified." It wasn't a question. Amara said nothing. "But you didn't scream." "Interesting." He reached past her and she flinched, but he was only grabbing a hand towel. He dried his hands carefully, methodically, then tossed it into the sink. "What floor do you work on?" Don't lie to me again, Sarah." The name was mocking now. "The badge on your hip says housekeeping. Your shoes are 2 years old and resoled once. You take the service elevator, not the guest ones. You work doubles because you need the money, and you're late for your shift." He glanced at his watch. 3 minutes now. Amara's throat was dry. "How do you—" "I notice things." He stepped aside, unlocking the door with a soft click. "You can go." She didn't move. Couldn't. Because none of this made sense. Men like him, men with blood on their hands and that kind of cold control, they didn't just let witnesses walk away. "You're wondering why I'm letting you leave," he said, reading her again. Amara forced herself to nod. "Because you looked me in the eyes and didn't look away." He opened the door an inch. "Most people can't do that. It means you're either very brave or very stupid. I haven't decided which yet." He paused. "Go to work, Sarah. Forget you saw me. Forget this room. Forget everything." Amara moved on instinct, slipping past him into the hallway. Her legs felt like water, but she walked fast. Didn't run. Didn't look back. She made it to the service elevator, down 6 floors, and into the housekeeping office with 45 seconds to spare before clock in. Her hands were still shaking when she grabbed her cart. "Forget you saw me?" "Right." Like that was possible. The shift blurred past in a haze of sheets and toilet brushes and guests who didn't see her face. Amara kept her head down, worked fast, and tried to convince herself that the man in the bathroom was just a guest. Maybe a fighter. Maybe he'd been in a bar fight. Maybe the blood wasn't even his. Maybe she'd imagined the coldness in his eyes, the kind of cold that didn't come from a bad night. It came from practice. At 11:30 p.m., she was finishing her last room when her supervisor appeared in the doorway. "Amara, manager wants you upstairs." Her stomach dropped. "Why?" "Didn't say. Just said now." The manager's office was on the 3rd floor, tucked behind the reception desk. Amara had only been inside twice. Once when she was hired, once when her mother was in the hospital and she'd needed 3 days off. She knocked. "Come in." Mr. Voss sat behind his desk, looking as exhausted as she felt. But there was something else in his face. Tension. Maybe fear. "Sit down, Amara." She sat. "We have a guest. A VIP. He's requested you specifically for his suite." The air left her lungs. "I don't understand." "Neither do I. But he's paid for a private attendant for the next week. 24-hour call. Your rate triples. All tips are yours." Voss slid a paper across the desk. "Sign this NDA first." "Wait. Who?" "I can't tell you his name. He requested discretion. But Amara, this is the kind of guest who could get me fired for asking questions." Voss's hands were clasped tight on the desk. "If you don't want to do this, I'll tell him you're unavailable. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think he'll take no for an answer." Amara's heart was pounding again. What room? Penthouse. Of course, she signed the NDA because she didn't know what else to do. Because her rent was late, and her sister needed tuition money, and this job was all she had. Because Mr. Voss looked scared, and that scared her more than anything. The elevator to the penthouse required a key card. Security handed her one without meeting her eyes. The doors opened directly into the suite. He was standing at the window, hands in his pockets, looking out over the city. He'd changed clothes. Black suit now. Perfectly tailored. Hair pushed back. No blood. He turned when he heard the elevator. "Hello again, Sarah." Amara stayed in the elevator. "My name's Amara." "I know." He walked toward her slowly, and she saw him clearly for the first time under real light. Mid-30s, maybe. Sharp jawline, a small scar above his left eyebrow, handsome in a way that felt dangerous. Amara Bennett, 26, originally from Atlanta, moved here 3 years ago. You send money home every month. Your sister's in college. Your mother's medical bills are still in collections. The elevator doors started to close. Amara's hand shot out to stop them. "How do you know all that?" "I told you. I notice things." He stopped a few feet away, close enough to touch. "You can leave if you want. The money's already been transferred to your account. $10,000. Whether you stay or go." Amara's mind went blank. 10,000. Consider it an apology for scaring you earlier. "You locked me in a bathroom." "I did." "There was blood on your hands." "There was." "Are you going to tell me why?" His expression didn't change. "No." Amara should have left. Should have run. Should have called someone. Anyone. Told them what she'd seen. But $10,000 was 3 months of rent. It was her sister's textbooks. It was a payment plan for her mother's surgery. And something else kept her frozen in place. The way he'd looked at her in that bathroom, like he'd seen something in her eyes, something that made him curious instead of angry. "Why me?" she asked quietly. He smiled then, a real one, and it transformed his face completely. "Because you didn't look away." The penthouse suite had 3 bedrooms, a full kitchen, a living room bigger than her apartment, and floor-to-ceiling windows that made the city look like a carpet of stars. He told her his name on the second night. Not his real one, she suspected, but a name, nonetheless. "Jihoon," he said, handing her a glass of wine she hadn't asked for. "You can call me that." Amara set the glass down untouched. "What do you actually need me for? Because I've been here 2 days and you haven't asked me to clean anything. You barely let me bring you food. And you definitely don't need someone to fluff your pillows." He was sitting in an armchair, reading something on his phone. He glanced up. "Maybe I just like the company." $10,000 is a lot for company. Not to me. She'd Googled him, of course, or tried to. But Jihoon and Korean businessman brought up 10,000 results, and none of them matched his face. She'd scrolled through image after image until her eyes burned. "You won't find me online," he said without looking up, like he could read her mind. "Why not?" "Because I pay people to make sure I don't exist there." Amara sat down on the couch across from him. "That's not normal." "No, it's not." "Are you a criminal?" He smiled. "Define criminal." "Someone who breaks the law." "Everyone breaks laws. The question is which ones and how often." He set his phone down and leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You want to know what I do? Fine. I move things. Money, mostly. Sometimes people. Sometimes information. I broker deals between people who can't be in the same room. And occasionally, when negotiations fail, I handle problems." "Handle." "Yes. Like the blood on your hands." "Like that." Amara's mouth went dry. "You're Mafia." Jihoon tilted his head. "That word means different things to different people. But yes, if you need a label, that one works." She should have been terrified, should have walked out right then. But instead, she heard herself ask, "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you already knew. You've known since the bathroom. And you stayed anyway." He stood, walked to the window. "You're wondering if I'm going to kill you, if this whole thing is an elaborate setup. If one morning you'll wake up and I'll be standing over your bed with a knife." He wasn't wrong. "I'm not going to hurt you, Amara. If I wanted you dead, you'd already be dead." He turned to face her. "But you saw me. You saw my face, my hands. You know what floor I was on and approximately what time. That makes you a liability." "So why?" "Because I made a choice. A stupid choice, probably. I let you walk out of that bathroom because something in your eyes told me you weren't going to run screaming to the police. And I was right. You went to work. You finished your shift. You didn't tell anyone." He came closer. "That kind of control is rare, useful, and honestly impressive." Amara stood up. "I didn't stay quiet because I'm controlled. I stayed quiet because I was scared." Fear and control aren't mutually exclusive. He stopped a foot away. "But you're not scared of me right now. You're angry. That's even better." "What do you want from me?" "Nothing you're thinking. I don't need a cleaner or a cook or entertainment. I need someone who exists. Someone with a real job, real life, real face. Someone the hotel staff sees every day and thinks nothing of." His voice dropped. "I need cover. And you're it." "Cover for what?" "Business. Meetings. Things that look less suspicious when there's a hotel employee coming and going at regular hours." Amara's hands clenched into fists. "You want me to be your alibi. I want you to keep doing your job. Just do it from this floor sometimes. Bring room service, restock towels, wave to the security cameras, let people see you. That's it." "And if I say no?" Jihoon's expression softened. "Then you leave, keep the money, and I'll make sure you stay safe." "Safe from what?" "From the people who are looking for me." He said it so casually, like he was commenting on the weather. I'm being hunted, Amara, by people who don't care about collateral damage, by people who will hurt anyone connected to me just to send a message. The bathroom you walked into? That was me sending a message back. The man whose blood you saw on my hands tried to kill me 3 hours earlier. The room tilted slightly. So here's the truth. You're already involved. The moment you opened that door, you became part of this. I can't change that. But I can protect you. That's what the money's for. That's what this whole arrangement is for. You stay close to me, you stay alive. You run, and eventually they'll find you and use you to get to me. Amara sat back down because her legs wouldn't hold her anymore. You're insane. Probably. I could go to the police. You could. But I own 3 of them, and the ones I don't own wouldn't be able to protect you. He crouched down in front of her so they were eye level. I know this is a lot. I know I'm asking you to trust someone you just met, someone covered in blood. But I'm giving you a choice. Stay and be protected, or leave and hope you're lucky. That's not a choice. It's the only one I have to offer. Amara looked at him, really looked. His eyes weren't cold anymore. They were tired, maybe even sad. How long? She asked. How long what? How long do I have to stay? Until it's over. When will it be over? Ji-hoon stood. When they stop looking. Or when I'm dead. Whichever comes first. She stayed. Not because she believed him. Not really. But because the alternative was worse. Because $10,000 had become 20, then 30. And suddenly her sister's tuition was paid in full, and her mother's medical debt was gone. Because Ji-hoon kept his distance, never touched her, never threatened her. Just existed in the same space, reading or working or staring out windows like he was waiting for something. On the 5th night, she asked, Do you have family? He didn't look up from his laptop. No. Everyone has family. I did. I don't anymore. What happened? I made enemies. They made examples. He closed the laptop. That's why I do this alone now. No one to lose. Amara pulled her knees to her chest on the couch. That sounds lonely. It is. He looked at her then, something unguarded in his expression. But it's safer. For who? For everyone. The next morning, Amara found a new phone on the kitchen counter. Top of the line. Her name was already programmed in. Ji-hoon was making coffee, dressed in a t-shirt and sweatpants, looking more human than she'd ever seen him. What's this? She asked, holding up the phone. Yours. Your old one wasn't secure. I didn't ask for a new phone. I know, but the people looking for me are very good with technology. Your old phone was a liability. This one's encrypted. He poured 2 cups of coffee, slid one toward her. All your contacts are transferred. Your photos. Everything. Amara stared at the phone. You went through my stuff. My tech guy did. I didn't look. That's not better. I know, but I'm trying to keep you alive, Amara. That requires some invasion of privacy. She wanted to throw the phone at him, wanted to scream. But he'd also paid off $53,000 in medical debt, and her sister had called yesterday crying with gratitude, and Amara was so tired of being angry. Thank you, she said quietly. Ji-hoon looked surprised. For invading your privacy? For the coffee. He smiled. A real one. You're welcome. That afternoon, a man in a black suit appeared in the penthouse. He didn't knock, just walked in like he owned the place, and Amara nearly dropped the towels she was folding. Ji-hoon appeared from the bedroom immediately, stepping between her and the stranger. She's fine, the man said in Korean. Amara didn't speak the language, but she understood the dismissive tone. English, Ji-hoon replied sharply. And she's not fine. She's under my protection. The man looked at Amara like she was furniture. This is a mistake. Keeping her here, it makes you weak. It makes me look normal. There's a difference. The others are asking questions. Let them ask. The man switched to rapid Korean, and Jihoon responded in kind, his voice hard and commanding. The conversation lasted maybe 2 minutes. Then the stranger left without another word. Amara waited until the elevator doors closed. Who was that? Someone who works for me. Jihoon's jaw was tight. What did he say? That I'm being stupid. That you're a risk. Am I? He turned to look at her. Honestly, I don't know anymore. That night, Jihoon ordered Thai food and they ate on the floor of the living room because he said the dining table was too formal. He asked about her sister, her mother, her life before the hotel. And Amara found herself talking, really talking, in a way she hadn't in years. I wanted to be a nurse, she admitted, picking at pad thai. But school was expensive and Mom got sick and everything just fell apart. You could go back, Jihoon said. I could... Don't. Amara cut him off. Don't offer me more money. You've done enough. Have I? He set down his chopsticks. Because from where I'm sitting, I've trapped you in a hotel penthouse with a wanted criminal and called it protection. You gave me a choice. A bad choice. It was still mine to make. She met his eyes. I'm here because I want to be, not because I'm scared. Not anymore. Something shifted in his expression. You should be scared. Why? You've been nothing but kind to me. That's the problem. He stood abruptly, walked to the window. I'm not a kind person, Amara. I've done things that would make you sick. I've hurt people, killed people, and I'll do it again if I have to. You're sitting here eating Thai food with a monster and you don't even see it. Amara stood too. I see it. I see exactly what you are. But I also see the man who paid my mother's medical bills, who makes me coffee in the morning, who looks sad when he thinks I'm not watching. She walked over to him. You're not just a monster, Jihoon. You're also human. He turned to face her, and for the first time, he looked vulnerable. That's the most dangerous part. The routine became almost comfortable. Amara would work her normal shifts downstairs, then come up to the penthouse for a few hours each evening. Sometimes Jihoon was there, sometimes he wasn't. When he was gone, men in suits would appear briefly, leave packages, disappear. She learned not to ask questions. Learned which rooms to avoid. Learned the sound of his footsteps so she'd know when he was coming. On the 11th day, everything changed. Amara was restocking the minibar when she heard the elevator ding. She turned, expecting Jihoon, but it was a different man. Older, gray hair slicked back, expensive suit, and eyes that made her skin crawl. You must be the girl, he said in accented English. Russian, maybe. Amara straightened. I'm the hotel attendant. Can I help you? Where is he? I don't know who you're referring to. The man smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Jihoon, the man paying you to lie. Where is he? I'm calling security. She reached for her phone, but the man was faster. He grabbed her wrist, twisted it just enough to hurt. I asked you a question. The bathroom door opened. Jihoon stepped out, gun in hand, aimed directly at the man's head. Let her go. The Russian's smile widened. There you are. 3 seconds. You'd shoot me in a hotel? I've done it before. 2 seconds. The man released Amara's wrist. She stumbled back, and Jihoon moved forward smoothly, keeping the gun trained and steady. Get behind me, he said quietly to Amara. She did. You're making enemies, Jihoon, dangerous ones. This girl, she's a weakness. We all see it. Then you're all blind. She's cover. She's a distraction. You're getting soft. The Russian took a step toward the elevator. My employer wanted me to deliver a message. Stop interfering with the shipments. Or next time, we won't be so polite. Polite. Jihoon's voice was ice. You grabbed her. I barely touched her. Next time, I'll do more than touch. He pressed the elevator button. Think about it. Think about what they'll do to her because of you. The elevator arrived. The man stepped inside and the doors closed. Jihoon lowered the gun. His hand was shaking. Are you okay? He asked, turning to Amara. Am I okay? You just pulled a gun on someone. He threatened you. You said I was safe here. You are, as long as I'm here. He set the gun down on the counter, ran both hands through his hair. I need to make a call. Stay in the living room. Don't open the door for anyone. He disappeared into the bedroom. Amara heard him speaking rapid Korean, his voice sharp and angry. She sat on the couch, her wrist still aching, and tried to process what had just happened. 20 minutes later, Jihoon emerged. Pack your things. What? We're leaving. This hotel isn't safe anymore. I live here. I work here. Not anymore. I'm getting you out. Where? My place. Actual place, not a hotel. Somewhere they won't look. Amara stood. You said this arrangement was temporary. You said... I was wrong. He grabbed his jacket, checked his gun. They know about you now. They'll use you to get to me. The only way to keep you safe is to keep you close. This is insane. Yes, but it's also true. He looked at her, and his expression was raw. I'm sorry. I thought I could do this without dragging you deeper. I was wrong. But I swear to you, Amara, I will not let them hurt you. Whatever it takes. She believed him. That was the terrifying part. She believed him completely. They left through the service entrance, Jihoon's hand on her lower back, guiding her quickly through corridors she'd walked 1,000 times. A black car was waiting. The driver didn't speak, didn't even look at her. They pulled away from the hotel and into the city, and Amara watched her life disappear in the rearview mirror. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere safe. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now. They drove for 40 minutes, leaving the city center and heading into the hills. The houses got bigger, farther apart. Finally, they turned into a private drive, gates opening automatically. The house at the end was modern, all glass and steel hidden behind trees. Inside, it was minimally furnished. Clean lines, no personal touches. It looked like a place someone stayed, not lived. Guest room is upstairs, second door on the left, Jihoon said, checking his phone. There's clothes in the closet, toiletries in the bathroom, everything you need. How long am I staying? I don't know. Jihoon. He finally looked at her. I'm trying to fix this. I'm trying to negotiate, to smooth things over. But these people, they don't negotiate. They take. And they've decided you're something they can take to hurt me. Why? I'm nobody. You're not nobody to me. He said it so quietly she almost didn't hear. Amara's breath caught. What? They know. I don't know how, but they know. They know I've been different since you showed up. They know I've been careful. And that's not who I am. I'm not careful. I'm ruthless. But with you here, I second-guess things. I hesitate. And in my world, hesitation gets you killed. Then let me go. Just let me go and they'll still come after you. To punish me. To send a message. You're a target now whether you're with me or not. He stepped closer. But if you stay, I can protect you. I have resources. People. I can keep you safe. For how long? However long it takes. Amara wanted to scream, wanted to cry, wanted to rewind 3 weeks and choose a different bathroom. But instead, she heard herself say, Okay, I'll stay, but you have to promise me something. Anything. No more secrets. You tell me what's happening. You tell me who's coming. You tell me the truth. Jihoon hesitated, then nodded. Deal. That night, Amara couldn't sleep. She stood at the window of the guest room, looking out at the city lights in the distance, and wondered how her life had become this. A month ago, she was worried about rent. Now she was hiding in a criminal's safe house. A soft knock on the door made her turn. Ji-hoon stood in the doorway. Can't sleep? No. Me neither. He leaned against the frame. I'm not used to having someone else here. I'm not used to being hunted. That makes two of us who are uncomfortable. Despite everything, Amara almost smiled. You're hunted all the time. True, but usually I'm alone. It's easier when it's just me. He paused. I meant what I said earlier, about you not being nobody. I need you to know that. Why? Because I think you deserve to know that someone sees you, really sees you, not just the uniform or the job or the mistakes. The person. Amara's throat tightened. You barely know me. I know enough. I know you're strong. I know you're scared, but you don't run. I know you send money home every month even when you can't afford it. I know you work doubles and never complain. I know you saw blood on my hands and stayed anyway. He pushed off the doorframe. I know you're the first person in 10 years who's looked at me like I'm human. Ji-hoon, get some sleep. We have a long day tomorrow. He left before she could respond. The next morning, men arrived. 4 of them, all Korean, all wearing suits and earpieces. They swept the house, checked the perimeter, spoke in rapid Korean that Amara couldn't follow. One of them set up monitors in the living room, pulling up security feeds from what looked like a dozen different locations. Ji-hoon appeared at her side. My security team, they'll be here 24/7. This is really happening. Yes. One of the men approached, speaking in Korean. Ji-hoon responded sharply, and the man's expression hardened. They argued for a moment, voices rising, until Ji-hoon said something that made everyone go silent. What was that about? Amara asked when they were alone again. He thinks I should send you away, put you on a plane to somewhere far, let you disappear. Why don't you? Because they'll find you. These people, they're global. They have reach. The only place you're safe is next to me. Or you're just selfish. He looked at her. Maybe. Probably. I'm not a good man, Amara. I've never pretended to be. But I'm a man who keeps his promises, and I promised to keep you safe. Days blurred together. Amara learned the security protocols, learned which cameras covered what angles, learned the names of Ji-hoon's men, learned that the quiet one, Minho, made excellent coffee. Learned that Ji-hoon barely slept, was always on his phone, always planning something. On the 6th night at the house, she found him on the back deck at 2 a.m. smoking a cigarette. I didn't know you smoked, she said, stepping outside. I don't. Usually. Stress habit. He took a drag, exhaled slowly. Can't sleep again? Your fault. You got me used to fear. Now I can't relax without it. He smiled at that. Sorry. Amara sat in the chair next to him. Tell me something true, something you've never told anyone. Why? Because I'm stuck here. Because you're stuck with me. Because I want to know who I'm hiding with. Ji-hoon was quiet for a long time. Then he said, I had a sister, younger. She wanted to be a doctor. Smart kid. Smarter than me. She didn't know what I did for a living. I kept it from her. Kept her clean. He paused. They killed her to get to me. 14 years old. They killed her and left her body where I'd find it. Amara's heart broke. Ji-hoon. That's when I became what I am now. Before that, I had limits. Lines I wouldn't cross. After her, I crossed all of them. Burned everything down. Became a monster. He looked at her. That's who you're hiding with. A man with nothing left to lose. Except me. Except you. He stubbed out the cigarette. Which is why this scares me so much. Amara reached over and took his hand. He flinched, but didn't pull away. "I'm not your sister," she said quietly. "I'm not 14. I know what you are. And I'm choosing to stay anyway." "Why?" "Because you're also the man who makes me coffee, who pays bills without being asked, who looks sad when he thinks no one's watching. Because you're human, Ji-hoon, and everyone deserves someone who sees that." He turned his hand over, lacing his fingers through hers. "You're going to get yourself killed. Maybe, but at least I'll die knowing I was seen." He laughed, a broken sound. "You're insane. Takes one to know one." They sat there in silence, hands linked, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. The attack came 3 days later. 2 a.m. Amara was asleep when the alarms went off, a high-pitched wail that jerked her awake. Ji-hoon was in her room instantly, gun drawn, face hard. "Get up, now!" She scrambled out of bed. He pulled her into the hallway, and she could hear shouting downstairs, gunfire, breaking glass. His security team was yelling in Korean, moving fast. "Safe room," Ji-hoon said, pushing her toward a door she'd never noticed before. It was reinforced steel, hidden in the wall. He pressed his palm against a scanner and it opened. "Get inside." "What about you?" "I'll be fine. Get in." "Ji-hoon." More gunfire. Closer now. He shoved her inside the safe room, followed her in, and slammed the door. It locked with a heavy thunk. The space was small, maybe 6 by 6, with monitors showing feeds from outside. She could see men in black moving through the house, could see Minho firing from behind the kitchen counter, could see blood. Ji-hoon was on his phone, speaking rapid Korean. His free hand gripped his gun so tight his knuckles were white. "How many?" Amara asked. 8. Maybe more. He glanced at the monitors. "They're professional. They disabled the perimeter alarms. Got past the first line of defense. Are your men?" 2 down. 3 still fighting." His voice was cold, clinical. This was the Ji-hoon the world saw. The monster. "They'll breach this room eventually. We have maybe 10 minutes. And then what?" "Then I kill as many as I can before they kill me, and you stay hidden." "What?" "No, I'm not. There's a secondary exit. Here." He pressed another panel and a narrow passage opened behind them. "It leads to the garage. Keys are in the 3rd car. You drive until you're safe. Then you call this number." He grabbed her hand, writing digits on her palm with a pen. "This is my lawyer. He'll get you somewhere safe. He'll give you a new identity if needed. I'm not leaving you." "Amara." "No." She grabbed his arm. "You said the only place I'm safe is next to you. So I'm staying next to you." A massive explosion rocked the house. The monitors went dark. Ji-hoon cursed, checked his gun. "They're breaching the main floor. 30 seconds, maybe less. Then we fight together." He looked at her like she'd lost her mind. "You don't know how to fight. So teach me fast." Despite everything, he almost smiled. "You're impossible. You made me this way." The door shuddered. Someone was trying to cut through. Ji-hoon pulled her deeper into the safe room, positioning himself between her and the entrance. "Stay behind me. Whatever happens, you stay behind me." The cutting stopped. Silence. Then a voice came through, speaking English. "Ji-hoon, we know you're in there. We know the girl's with you. Send her out, and we'll make this quick. Keep her, and we'll make you both suffer." Ji-hoon didn't respond. "We killed your men. All of them. It's over. You've lost." Amara felt Ji-hoon's body tense. She could see his reflection in the dark monitor screen. His face was stone, but his eyes were burning. "Last chance," the voice called. Ji-hoon raised his gun. The door exploded inward. Everything happened at once. Ji-hoon fired 3 shots in rapid succession. Someone screamed. Men poured through the opening. Ji-hoon moved like liquid violence, taking down the first 2 before they could react. But there were more behind them. Too many. A hand grabbed Amara. She screamed, twisted, and someone hit her hard across the face. The world spun. She tasted blood. Stop. The voice from earlier. A man stepped through the smoke, older, gray-haired, the Russian from the hotel. Stop, or I put a bullet in her head right now. Ji-hoon froze. His gun was pointed at the Russian's chest, but the Russian had a gun pressed against Amara's temple. Drop it, the Russian said. You'll kill her anyway. Maybe, maybe not, but drop it and she has a chance. Keep pointing that gun at me and I pull this trigger just to watch you break. Time seemed to stop. Amara could see Ji-hoon calculating, weighing odds, running scenarios. His finger was on the trigger. 1 shot. He could make it. But so could the Russian. Ji-hoon, Amara whispered. It's okay. It's not okay. I know, but I need you to listen to me. She kept her eyes locked on his. Remember what I said about being seen? I meant it. You saw me. Really saw me, and I saw you. The real you. Not the monster. The man. Her voice cracked. So whatever happens next, I need you to know that. I need you to know you were worth seeing. Something in his expression shattered. How touching, the Russian said. Now drop the gun or I'll kill her while you watch. Ji-hoon's hand shook. For the first time since she'd met him, he looked helpless. Drop it. The gun hit the floor. Smart choice. The Russian smiled. Now kick it away. Ji-hoon did. Good. Now you're going to watch while I... The lights went out. Complete darkness. Someone grabbed Amara from behind, yanking her backward. She struggled, but the grip was iron. She heard gunfire, shouting, Ji-hoon yelling her name. Then something pressed against her mouth. Sweet-smelling. Chemical. Her vision blurred. The last thing she saw before everything went black was Ji-hoon fighting through bodies, reaching for her, his face twisted in rage and fear. Then nothing. When Amara woke up, she was alone. The room was small, concrete, with 1 door and no windows. Her hands were tied behind her back. Her head throbbed where she'd been hit. She tried to stand, but her legs wouldn't cooperate. The door opened. A woman walked in. Young, maybe 30, Asian features, expensive clothes. She smiled like they were old friends. Hello, Amara. I've been wanting to meet you. Who are you? My name is Yuna. I'm Ji-hoon's wife. The world tilted. Excuse me? Well, ex-wife technically. The divorce was never finalized. Legal complications, you understand. Yuna pulled up a chair, sat down gracefully. He didn't tell you about me, did he? Typical Ji-hoon. Always keeping secrets. Amara's mind was racing. You're lying. Am I? Ask yourself, Amara. In all the time you spent with him, did he ever tell you about his past? His real past? Did he tell you why he left Korea? Did he tell you about the deal he made? The people he betrayed? Yuna's smile widened. Did he tell you he's been using you this whole time? Using me for what? Bait. You see, Ji-hoon and I have unfinished business. Money he owes me. Territory he stole. A betrayal I've been waiting years to repay. But he's careful, my husband. Too careful. Always moving, always protected. Until you. She leaned forward. He got sloppy because of you. Started keeping patterns. Staying in one place. All because he wanted to play house with a pretty hotel maid. And that sloppiness? That's what led us right to him. I don't believe you. You don't have to. But tell me, how did you really meet Ji-hoon? A bathroom? How convenient. How romantic. Almost like it was planned. Yuna stood. He needed someone innocent, someone believable, someone the authorities would never suspect. and you walked right into his trap. No. He saved me. He protected me. Did he? Or did he make you need protecting? Yuna walked to the door, paused. Think about it, Amara. Every danger you faced, every threat, every moment of fear. Who created those situations? Who benefited from keeping you scared and dependent? Where is he? Dead, probably. My men are quite thorough. She said it casually, like discussing the weather. But don't worry, you'll be joining him soon. I just wanted to meet you first. See what kind of woman could make Jihoon weak. I want to see him. I want proof. Oh, you'll see him. Soon. Yuna opened the door. But first, we wait. See, Jihoon has something I need. Money he's hidden. Accounts only he can access. And you, sweet Amara, are going to help me get them. I don't know anything about his money. No, but he cares about you. And men who care make mistakes. Her smile was sharp as a blade. We'll see just how much he cares when I start cutting pieces off you and sending them to him. The door closed, locked. Amara was alone again. She tried to think. Tried to remember everything Jihoon had taught her about staying calm under pressure. But Yuna's words kept echoing. Bait. Planned. Using you. No. She knew Jihoon. Knew his eyes when he looked at her. Knew the sadness in his voice when he talked about his sister. Knew the way his hand had trembled when he'd almost lost her. Unless it was all an act. Unless Yuna was telling the truth. Amara closed her eyes, forced herself to breathe. Either Jihoon was dead and she was next, or he was alive and coming for her. Either he'd been lying from the beginning, or everything he'd told her was real. She chose to believe it was real, because the alternative was unbearable. Hours passed, maybe days. It was hard to tell with no windows. They brought her water but no food. The door opened twice more, different men each time, checking her restraints. No one spoke to her. On the third opening, it wasn't a man. It was Yuna again. Good news, she said brightly. He's alive. Your precious Jihoon survived, though 3 of my best men didn't, so that's unfortunate. She crouched in front of Amara. Want to know the interesting part? He's not trying to negotiate. Not offering money or territory or anything logical. Know what he's offering? Amara didn't answer. Himself. A straight trade. His life for yours. Touching, really. Also incredibly stupid. Yuna tilted her head. Makes me wonder if I was wrong about you. Maybe you're not bait. Maybe you're actually something more. When? Amara's voice was hoarse. Tomorrow night. Neutral ground. He walks in, you walk out. Then I kill him slowly while you drive away to your little life. Yuna stood. Unless, of course, you want to stay and watch. I could arrange that. Why are you doing this? Because he took everything from me. My family's business. My reputation. My future. And now I'm taking everything from him. Starting with hope. She walked to the door. Get some rest, Amara. Tomorrow's going to be a very long day. When morning came, if it was morning, they moved her. Blindfolded, hands still bound, shoved into a car. She counted turns, tried to memorize the route, but lost track after 15 minutes. When they finally stopped and removed the blindfold, she was in a warehouse. Empty except for a single chair in the center, harsh lights overhead. They tied her to the chair. Yuna appeared from the shadows. He'll be here soon. Very punctual, my husband. One of his few virtues. If you kill him, his people will come for you. His people work for whoever pays them. I pay better. Yuna checked her watch. Any last words you want me to pass along? Something romantic? Something tragic? Amara looked her dead in the eyes. Tell him I never looked away. Yuna frowned. What does that mean? He'll know. A door opened at the far end of the warehouse. Footsteps echoed. Yuna smiled. Showtime. Ji-hoon walked in alone. No weapons visible, no backup. Just him in a dark suit, hands at his sides. He looked thinner than she remembered. Tired. But his eyes were the same. Sharp. Focused. And when they found Amara, something in them softened. "Let her go," he said. Eventually. Yuna gestured and 4 men appeared with guns trained on Ji-hoon. "First, the accounts. Transfer everything. Then she lives." "No." Ji-hoon didn't even glance at the guns. "She goes first. Then we talk about money. You're not in a position to negotiate. Neither are you." He smiled, and it was the coldest thing Amara had ever seen. "You think I came alone? You think I walked in here without a plan? Check the roof, Yuna. Check the perimeter. Count the red dots on your men's foreheads." Yuna's expression flickered. She pulled out her phone, pressed something, waited. The color drained from her face. "What did you do?" she whispered. "I called in every favor I had. Every debt owed. Every alliance I've built over 20 years. There are 47 snipers surrounding this warehouse. Explosives on every exit. And a kill order that goes active if anything happens to either of us." Ji-hoon took a step forward. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to untie Amara. You're going to let her walk out. And then you and I are going to have a conversation about the future, a peaceful future where we both walk away breathing." "You're bluffing." "Am I?" He pulled out his phone, pressed a button. Simultaneously, every light in the warehouse shattered. Emergency lights kicked in, bathing everything in red. That was a warning. "Next time, it's your men." Yuna looked at her guards. They looked terrified. "This isn't over," she hissed. "It is. You just don't know it yet." Ji-hoon's voice was steel. "Untie her, now." One of the guards moved forward, cut Amara's restraints. She stood on shaky legs. Ji-hoon never took his eyes off Yuna, but his hand extended toward Amara. "Come here." She walked to him. His arm went around her shoulders, pulling her close. "Are you hurt?" he asked quietly. "No." "Good." He looked back at Yuna. "We're leaving. Don't follow us. Don't look for us. And we'll pretend this never happened." "Why would I agree to that?" "Because the alternative is war, and you'll lose. I've lost everything once, Yuna. I have nothing to lose by burning your entire organization to ash. But Amara?" His grip on her tightened. "She has everything to lose, and I won't let that happen." They backed toward the door, Ji-hoon keeping himself between Amara and the guns. No one stopped them. No one moved. Outside, dawn was breaking. A black car was waiting, engine running. Ji-hoon opened the door, pushed Amara inside, followed quickly. The car peeled out before the door was fully closed. They drove in silence for 10 minutes. Then Amara started shaking, not from fear, from relief, from adrenaline crash, from everything. Ji-hoon pulled her against his chest. "I've got you. You're safe now." "She said you were using me, that it was all planned." "I know. She's lying. She's been trying to get to me for years. You were just an excuse." He tilted her face up. "But I need you to know something. When I met you in that bathroom, it wasn't planned. It was chance. Bad luck. And then it became the best thing that ever happened to me. Even though it almost got us both killed? Especially because of that." He kissed her forehead. "You didn't look away, Amara. Even when you should have. Neither did you." The car pulled into a private airfield. A jet was waiting. "Where are we going?" Amara asked. "Somewhere she'll never find us. Somewhere we can start over." He helped her out of the car. "If you want to. I know I'm asking a lot. I know I've put you through hell, but yes. Yes. Yes, I'll go with you. Yes, I want to start over. Yes to all of it." She smiled despite everything. "You're stuck with me now." I can live with that. They boarded the plane. As it lifted off, Amara looked out the window at the city disappearing below. Somewhere down there, Yuna was planning revenge. Somewhere, enemies were gathering. Somewhere, danger was still waiting. But right now, in this moment, she was safe. She was seen, and she was exactly where she wanted to be. Ji-hoon's hand found hers. Thank you. For what? For looking me in the eyes. For seeing the man instead of the monster. He paused. For choosing to stay when you could have run. I told you. I don't run anymore. Good. Because where we're going, there's no running. Only... His phone buzzed. He glanced at it and his entire body went rigid. What? Amara asked. He turned the screen toward her. A photo. Yuna standing in front of a house. Not just any house. A house Amara recognized, her sister's college dormitory. Below the photo, a text message. You took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from you. Starting with family. Enjoy your flight. By the time you land, there won't be anyone left to come home to. Ji-hoon was already calling someone, voice sharp with orders. Amara's hands went numb. Her sister, her mother, everyone she loved. Can you stop it? She whispered. I don't know. He gripped her hand. But I'm going to try. The plane continued climbing, racing towards safety, while somewhere behind them, Yuna was making her move. The game wasn't over. It was just beginning. And this time, the stakes were everyone Amara had ever cared about. If this story had you on the edge of your seat, hit that subscribe button right now because this is just the beginning. Drop a comment below and tell me, should Ji-hoon sacrifice everything to save Amara's family, or should they disappear and start a new life? And smash that like button if you want a part 2, because Yuna's revenge is far from over. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next. This story isn't finished. Not by a long shot.